Every year in North America, more than 700,000 people go missing.
It's like she just vanished.
Every hour a loved one stays lost lowers the odds of their safe return.
She'll be found dead. That's my biggest worry.
Two desperate families with everything to lose.
It was so hard to not know what was going on with her.
Each aided by an investigator determined to crack the case.
The dangers involve sexual predators, where the only way she can survive is through drugs.
She goes on this business trip, and I think something happened that triggers her.
Will they be successful and find the missing? In the northern Ontario town of Sudbury, 16-year-old Meagan Pilon disappeared from her home on September 11th, 2013. Her family hasn't seen her since.
I was sick. No eating, no sleeping, and trying everything. We were always together, and I'm so lost right now without her.
Okay, you hold it up and I will tape it. He's just beside himself with, where is my little girl?
Meagan's Aunt Ellen and her father Mark have been desperately looking for 7 months, but she's nowhere to be found.
Every night you're thinking, what is she doing? And just get worse and worse and worse.
This is Mark's missing daughter, my niece. She'll be found dead. That's my biggest worry.
My daughter's been missing for 7 months.
Meagan has too much potential to end up that way.
If she sees her again, she'll call, definitely.
Meagan was a very active child, full of energy, and just chatter.
She was amazing. She loved music. She played electric guitar. And for a while, she was even writing songs.
Meagan was at Grandma's a lot growing up. Grandma was like her substitute mother.
When Meagan was 6, her mother Alice overdosed on the prescription painkiller OxyContin.
Alice was bipolar. She had addiction, I guess you could say. And she was almost clean for 2 years, and then she relapsed, and that was it. Meagan was devastated when the police told us that she had passed.
Not having a mother around, it was difficult on Meagan growing up.
When she became a teen, Meagan began arguing with Mark, storming out of their home. And like her mother, she started showing signs of drug addiction.
She'd be all like slumpy and droopy. She couldn't do eye contact.
I felt a sense of frustration from Mark as a single parent.
Mark was fighting his own demons, depression and chronic back pain.
All these meds for depression's not working, and meds to sleep are not working.
7 months ago, Mark elected to have back surgery to deal with his nerve pain. Meagan was in the care of her grandmother, but when she came to visit her father in the hospital, he sensed something was wrong.
The last time she came there, she was like pretty out of it, and she didn't stay long.
Meagan was last seen alive leaving the hospital. Her father never heard from her again.
He's not in any condition to go looking, and he was beside himself.
With Mark incapacitated, Ellen began searching for Meagan with the Sudbury police. But so far, they've had no luck. Now that Mark has recovered from his surgery, he's determined to find his only daughter. He's asked private investigator Tom Klatt to join him.
The dangers involve, frankly, sexual predators. She's abused to the point where the only way she can survive is through drugs. Ultimately, the only way to get out of that, in her mind, will be to overdose and die. She had friends at that time, is that accurate?
Yes.
Did she have a boyfriend?
Oh, she hid everything from me. I'd have to hear it through other people.
Tom needs to speak to someone outside the family to find out what was really going on with Meagan. Her classmate Kayla is willing to talk.
She was quiet, really quiet. She didn't really have a lot of friends until high school.
What do you think happened between middle school and high school?
Her boyfriend, he was in his 30s. All of her boyfriends were really on edge, like they were on something.
Okay. And were they mostly older guys?
Yeah.
Meagan, from what it sounds like, is fairly sexually active. She runs the great risk of being totally controlled.
Kayla tells Tom that Meagan used to spend a lot of time doing drugs at a downtown coffee shop. It's a place Ellen searched after Meagan first went missing.
I actually saw a paper bag being exchanged for a wad of money. I think maybe that night was the beginning of feeling that I'm out of my element here.
Although the area is dangerous, Tom knows that tapping into the Sudbury drug scene is how he needs to start the search for Meagan.
She may be in this area.
1,200 miles south, in Hueytown, Alabama, Don Biggers has spent 6 years searching for his missing wife, Pamela, with her sister, Paula Thomas. On January 27, 2008, 52-year-old Pamela Biggers left for a business trip to Panama City, Florida, and never returned.
It was so hard to not know where she was or what was going on with her.
It's like she just vanished.
Pamela was last seen alive at her hotel. No one saw her leave later that night.
Her car was right out in the parking lot. Car keys were in her purse, her wallet. All she had on is her clothes, her shoes, and that's it. She was sweet, outgoing, a very caring person. You just miss her being there, you know?
Pam's disappearance has been especially devastating for Don and his family.
I was diagnosed with neck and right tonsil cancer. It's a tough battle. It would have been nice to have Pam's help to go through it, but I had my sons.
Pamela and Don have 2 grown sons, Zachary and Jake.
Pam was a wonderful mother. I mean, she took great care of the kids.
When she went back to work, she was always home before the children got home for school. So it was like for the boys that she never even was really working.
We were always there for each other. Pam was so good at helping people through their worries. But it was very difficult to try to explain to her to not worry.
When her youngest son, Jake, joined the Marines and was about to be deployed to Afghanistan, something shifted in Pam.
That 2-month period, her mental state deteriorated really quickly.
It was more than Pam's mind could manage because she didn't believe that he was coming back home.
The main part is when she started hearing voices. She was schizophrenic, possibly. She did agree to see a psychiatrist, but the day of the appointment, she broke it, would not go.
Although she was plagued by her growing mental illness, Pam was asked to travel for a business trip. She arranged retail product displays for a living, and a new store was opening in Florida.
Several times I tried to stop her from going, and she said, no, everything's fine.
Pam was sick and we shouldn't have let her go.
The very next morning, after arriving in Panama City, Pam didn't show up to an important meeting and wasn't in her hotel room. Don and Paula immediately drove down and met with police.
They took me into the room. Her clothes were all hung, pillow was propped up. She had a book on the other bed that she'd been reading.
There was nothing missing from the room but Pam.
We want is everybody to help us find her. And I love her, and I miss her.
After 6 years of searching, Don wants to find his wife before it's too late.
I mean, this go on until I die myself.
Terrified that his cancer could leave his sons with the burden of finding their mother by themselves, Don is launching a final desperate search. He's asked for help from missing persons expert Monica Kaysen, who has experience searching for the mentally ill.
I've had so many cases, and they've ended up numerous states away. And someone that's had a snap from reality, which I think Pam has, they can't find their way back home on their own.
To start her search, she's taking Dawn and Paula back to the last place Pam was seen, the La Quinta Inn in Panama City, Florida. Pam's co-worker Brenda Pearson is also traveling there to meet them. Monica wants to learn about Pam's mental state the night before she disappeared.
She was parked in this second place right here?
Yes.
Okay.
She didn't really think she was hearing voices. She thought it was real.
That evening, Pam went to the market with Brenda to buy a few groceries. Inside the store, Pam's behavior became extremely erratic.
It was like she couldn't be still, and she was just walking really fast, zigzagging in between customers.
When she exited the store, I noticed a worker looking at Pam kind of strange. That was the only video that we ever found of Pam since she'd been missing.
On the night Pam disappeared, the hotel lobby was filled with many of her co-workers, but somehow nobody saw her leave the room.
Pam was staying in room 122, this one right here.
If she would have passed this way, somebody would have seen her. So at this point, the only way that she could have gone is down this hallway here.
Yes.
If Pam spent the night outside, it was cold enough that she could have died from prolonged exposure. Monica wants to search the large wooded area behind the hotel with her own canine unit.
I want to rule out the fact that she could possibly be deceased back here.
Recently diagnosed with cancer, Don Biggers desperately wants to avoid leaving his sons not knowing what happened to their mother.
I came back down here one time for a whole week. We want to find her alive. That's the only closure we would like to have.
6 years ago, his wife Pam disappeared while on a business trip in Panama City, Florida. Missing persons expert Monica Kaysen has taken Don and his sister-in-law Paula back to the last place Pam was seen alive, the La Quinta Inn.
Looking for Pamela Biggers. We're going to run the article find, and then we're going to run cadaver.
Victimology-wise, there was nothing that alerted us to anything that would make us think that she had been removed forcibly from the room or harmed. It just appeared like she left.
Monica has brought her own canine unit to search the area.
That's just something I personally need to do to make sure that area is cleared of any kind of clues.
The woods back there when Pam disappeared were so thick, you could not get through them.
We have dogs that specialize in what we call article finds, so any kind of evidence, clothing, as well as cadaver dogs.
After the team spends 6 hours scouring 1 square mile, Monica calls off the dogs.
It's actually pretty clean back there. And it just reinforces her being out there and alive.
As the canine unit is packing up, they suddenly hear the national anthem, and Monica realizes there's a military base next door.
Did that trigger something for her? Maybe a plane flew in and just set something off.
Pam said she began hearing voices after she learned her son Jake was about to be deployed to Afghanistan. Could the startling recognition of the nearby military base have made her flee the hotel in a panic?
If that was her, she would have gone left out of the parking lot.
Correct.
And right and across the bridge.
Straight over, straight up, straight across the bridge.
After it got on the local news, that somebody saw somebody put her description going over the Hathaway Bridge, which is the main bridge connecting Panama City.
Monica is working on the theory that Pam left on foot to look for her son, who was in North Carolina awaiting deployment. To jumpstart every search, Monica sends missing posters all across the United States. For Pam, she receives 2 solid leads, both in Florida.
The one thing that triggered me to believe them, she talked about having a son in the military.
The sightings indicate a woman fitting Pam's description traveling south. So Dawn, Paula, and Monica are heading 400 miles away to the town of Fort Meade, hoping to follow Pam's trail.
I really don't know what kept us from facing the fact that Pam really was sick.
She was becoming a different person before she disappeared, but I believe that she's still alive.
Back up north in Sudbury, Ontario, Mark Pilon is looking for his teenage daughter with the help of his sister-in-law Ellen and private investigator Tom Klatt.
Knowing she had a propensity for drugs already, she could easily be misled. She's naive. Let's hope she's not that naive.
Roughly 85% of female runaways are found, but most within the first 48 hours.
If you think the person you're seeing might be here, please give a call.
Meagan Pilon disappeared from her home 7 months ago without a trace. Her father is afraid she's following the tragic path of her mother, who died from a drug overdose.
I told her what happened when she was 14. I felt that she deserved to know the truth. And maybe I told too much truth.
Tom has brought Mark and Ellen to a known drug area where Meagan used to hang out.
We're searching, yes, we're searching for my niece.
They hand out posters, hoping that someone has seen Meagan recently.
I'm a sober man. I know what happened.
We're trying to locate her. My niece is missing, and it's been 7 months. Here's a copy.
Tom knows that the family's presence will prevent the dealers from doing their business.
Any sightings at all, just please call the police.
When we got there, it started to upset the clientele that they couldn't get their drugs. You might piss them off enough that after the fact, you will get a message.
Sure enough, later that night, they get a tip from a woman who asks to remain anonymous. She's a former neighbor of Mark and Meagan's, who knows many people in the Sudbury underworld.
Tell me a little bit about Meagan.
She was very promiscuous. I think all that mostly happened when she first met Wyona.
Wyona Moore is a 21-year-old who befriended Meagan in the months leading up to her disappearance.
She's always been a bad influence on Meagan. She's always trying to get Meagan into alcohol and drugs and everything else.
Do you know where Wyona is today?
I have no idea.
Tell me about this girl, Wyona.
She was actually pimping Meagan off quite a bit. She'd make phone calls and set dates up for Meagan to send her off so that she would be paid for sex.
Learning Meagan fell into the Sudbury prostitution scene is extremely disturbing. But it doesn't surprise Tom.
It's a mining town. A lot of single men working long and hard hours. This attracts sexuality all on its own.
She'd be paid by the men, and she'd have to give part of it to Wyona.
Was she living at home while this was going on?
Yes.
For Mark and Ellen, the revelation is devastating.
That ideal of her being a prostitution is disgusting.
It's pretty hard to take it all in and accept that this is what's going on in Meagan's life right now.
If Wyona helps set Meagan on her dangerous path, she may also hold the key to bringing her home. Wyona is apparently in hiding, so the anonymous woman puts Tom in touch with acquaintances in the Sudbury drug scene who may know where she is.
Tough to hide for any length of time in a small community, protected or not protected.
"16-year-old Meagan Pilon has been missing for 7 months. Her father, Mark, and his sister-in-law, Ellen, knew Meagan was experimenting with drugs, but hearing she's fallen into prostitution is beyond their worst nightmare.
Makes me sick just thinking about it.
I went from being very concerned to really being scared.
This is a person that's already living off the street, both financially, sexually, and for drugs.
Private investigator Tom Klatt was told that Meagan's friend Wyona was allegedly working as her pimp, but Wyona's whereabouts are unknown. To find out where she might be staying, He's speaking to everyone he can who's connected to drugs and prostitution in the area.
Given the opportunity and the choice to either telephone someone or knock on their door, I will always knock on their door. We're looking for Wyona.
I don't know where she is. I haven't got a clue.
Now, are you in contact with her?
I haven't seen or heard from her for a while, actually.
Yeah, I know Wyona.
What is she all about?
She'll stab you in the back when you least expect it. She cuts everybody down.
Where should I be looking for her?
Don't know where she is.
It's a potentially dangerous world, but Tom is not intimidated.
I'm showing them that I'm not scared of their environment, and it sends a message. Are you familiar with a woman by the name of Wyona?
Wyona, yes. She's given me every reason to believe that she does know where Meagan is, and she's just not telling us anything.
Where's Wyona live?
I don't know. I think Serpent River.
After spending a day talking to dozens of known associates of the elusive Wyona, Tom finally gets the lead he needs. And before long, he's got a phone number in Serpent River.
The critical next step was to find the conduit to get Wyona to talk to us. So the conduit turned out to be the mother.
After an impassioned phone call to Wyona's mother, amazingly, Wyona agrees to meet Tom and Meagan's family. They begin the 80-mile journey to Serpent River to speak with the one person who may know where to find Meagan. Missing persons expert Monica Kaysen is looking for Pamela Biggers, who disappeared from Panama City, Florida. She's with Pam's husband, Don, and her sister, Paula. They're following up on the first credible sighting in 6 years of someone fitting Pam's description in the town of Fort Meade. Pam was exhibiting symptoms of serious mental illness just before she vanished.
When someone has a break from reality, they'll have good and bad days. On their good days, they can convince somebody to do anything. Can you give me a ride? I need some spare change. But then on the bad days, they just continue to get more lost.
Pam claimed to be hearing voices and may not even know who she is or how to get home. Monica suspects she may be living as a transient.
Not the Pam I know, but the Pam that is sick could be living that way.
Don's struggle with cancer makes every mile of searching physically and mentally taxing.
My main concern is just being able to have the energy to follow the leads.
They've come to talk with Pastor Mary Alice Pemberton. After seeing Monica's missing posters, she claims she met a woman 2 weeks earlier who might have been Pam.
She seemed to just have a mission. She needed some money for something, and she come and ask, and she was cordial. There was something about the way she was talking to me that made me think she was a little bit confused.
If I remember correctly in the tip, she spoke to you about a son that was in the military.
When she talked about her son, I remember she got upset. And she didn't cry, but her eyes got real misty.
Does this picture resemble her as well? Yes. Yeah. That's the one you called on, right?
This lady resembles her.
Did she mention any place that she had been?
Sometime during the conversation, I don't remember how it was brought up, but something was said about Peace River Park.
It's been a long time since we've had a lead. She looked like Paula, this woman. So that means a lot.
Peace River Park is just a few miles up the road. Monica wants to see if there are any signs that transient people spend the night there.
But you kind of could see how it would be inviting.
Yeah. That might be the office.
They decide to check in with park security.
This is my sister that's been missing since 2008.
Can I keep this?
Yes, I would love for you to keep that.
The guard confirms that homeless people travel through the area.
Does anyone kick them out of the park at all?
No, they don't stay.
Is there a lot of them?
No, you might see one or two.
If there's truly homeless people in the area, you're going to be able to say, oh, I see them 2 or 3 times a week, not just every now and again. So I feel like that town is more of people passing through, going somewhere else.
Monica has a theory that Pam may have traveled through Fort Meade to the location of their second sighting.
She comes down in Fort Meade, and then, you got a straight shot to Miami.
Pam may be searching for her son in the military. Just before she went missing, he was about to be deployed to Afghanistan. She was terrified he was going to be killed.
I personally do think that triggered something in her mind. From the time I went to boot camp to when I was about to deploy, she changed completely.
What's more, Pam may be haunted by the fear of losing Jake, because 30 years ago, she lost another child.
When Joshua was born, they knew immediately that something was wrong with him.
He was breathing and drowning, actually, in the peconium fluid. Last night, I was with him. I left to go check on Pam. That was when Joshua died. And the only time Pam got to hold him is after he died.
Knowing the heartache, I'm sure she didn't think she would ever be able to face that again.
Jake's imminent deployment could have triggered this terrible memory and sent Pam on a frantic 6-year search.
I think she worked herself up in a paranoia. What people don't understand about mental illness is the concept of time. That's not a reality.
The second, more recent sighting of Pam brings the searchers to Miami. A local businesswoman believes she saw her in the area around Washington Avenue. But with more homeless and mentally ill people here than anywhere else in Florida, it's like looking for Pam in a sea of lost souls.
I don't think for 1 minute she chooses to be away.
For updates, resources, and more, check out Last Seen Alive online.
You mind hanging on to that picture?
Yeah.
All if you see her. Thank you.
In their search for Pamela Biggers, Dawn, Paula, and Monica have traveled to Miami, hoping to find her among its transient population of almost 4,000 people.
If you would like, I'd pass it
I
on.
would love that.
This is my sister.
They're on their way to speak to a local woman who claims to have seen Pam. While they travel to the meeting, Dawn and Paula look for other people who might recognize her.
She's been missing since 2008.
The last time I seen that lady was she was on First Street, and that was like about a week ago.
Okay, I appreciate the time and telling us the information.
It could be a good lead, but Paula is not convinced.
I believe he believes it, but I don't believe it.
Now, their hope rests with Veronica Tejeda. She reached out to Monica after spotting a homeless woman she believes could be Pam.
She pays attention to her community and seems to invest in something in this case.
Veronica meets them on the same busy Miami street where she last saw the woman she believes is Pam Biggers.
She was looking disoriented and lost. Usually I see the same homeless people in the area, and she just stuck out. And I remember the article that I saw, and she looked like her. She had the same features, and she was wearing something really long and like a long skirt.
And did like her skirts long.
I don't know how many homeless women are out here. They usually hang out with their boyfriend or someone else, but not a single one standing over here by herself.
I try hard to not invest in the leads or the tips, but this woman's so credible.
I believe Veronica has encountered her. I think she's very credible too.
For the first time in 6 years, Dawn and Paula feel Pam is right within their grasp.
I feel like she can be found. You have to get out there and look.
They continue their canvassing of Miami's homeless after sundown.
Does she look familiar to you?
I hate to interrupt your game. My wife has been missing since 2008. I'm wondering if you may have seen her.
If I do, man, I just
give me a call.
Suddenly, Monica arrives with incredible news. She spotted a homeless woman who fits Pam's description.
She's asleep all by herself in the middle of the parking lot.
So we can walk around there and check that out?
Yes.
Holding their breath, they make their way to the woman.
Oh, I see her.
I see someone.
Yeah.
But when Don and Paula get close, it's clearly not Pam. It's a huge disappointment, and the stress of the search is wearing Dawn down.
I just don't have as much energy as I did, just because of the cancer.
Then, just before they retire for the night, Monica finds a man with another promising sighting.
There's a woman. The hairstyle is the same, and the cute little smile.
All right.
Okay.
She don't panhandle, but folks just give a thing. Y'all check the Miami Mission?
Yeah, the Miami Mission.
Villa House.
The man believes he's seen Pam spending time near the Miami homeless shelters.
She's showing up to be fed somewhere, get some kind of clothing, and also get some kind of housing, probably from time to time in bad weather.
Monica, Paula, and Dawn commit themselves to visiting the shelters first thing in the morning. Private investigator Tom Klatt is searching for missing teenager Meagan Pilon, who vanished after getting involved in the prostitution scene in downtown Sudbury.
There's very little doubt in my mind that Meagan had a support mechanism in place.
Everything points to Meagan's friend, Wyona. She allegedly acted as Meagan's pimp and is now living in Serpent River.
I'm not saying she was the focal point, but everything seemed to come back to her.
Wyona has agreed to meet with Tom and the family, but Mark is too upset to join them.
You know, she's corrupted my daughter so badly.
So Tom and Ellen meet with Wyona alone. They're hoping she can give them a lead so they can bring Meagan home and get her some therapy.
So you know where she is?
No. I was getting tired of hanging out with her because I was getting in trouble from her dad.
And what was it the dad was suggesting was inappropriate about you and her being together?
That she would be going on adult websites.
Did she have any tricks, Johns, that she regularly saw?
About 5, maybe.
Some people out there believe that you were pimping her.
I wasn't pimping her.
I'm struggling with some of your answers that you've given me today. I just don't think you're telling me everything about what you know about Meagan.
What do you mean, exactly?
Well, let's say if she met a guy with your assistance, somehow, some way, how much would she give you for doing that?
Nothing.
Wyona is so well connected, she can find Meagan if she wants to. If you're willing to help me to try to find Meagan, I need you to be as truthful as you can with me.
There was one guy, I don't remember his name because he told us 3 different names. And that's the one she usually seen for money.
Can you describe him to me?
He's white, about 5'8". He drove a white pickup truck.
After some digging, Tom's team is able to uncover the John's name and profile on a dating site.
Tell him you're thinking somewhere around 9:30 or 10. Perfect. Okay. Bye-bye.
Posing as a teenage girl, they lure him into a sting.
Okay.
Right on time, a white pickup truck arrives.
He assumes he's meeting a young girl that is going to go back to his hotel room with him to have sex. I have a surveillance team out here, and we're going to basically box his vehicle so that he can't drive away on us. And we're going to have a meaningful discussion with him. I'm a private investigator, retired policeman. You talking to Tanya?
Yeah.
It's my girl. He is intertwined in the social community of dating young girls. And he can put the feelers out as well to get the message to Meagan to reach out to us.
You know where she is? Absolutely no idea. I met her with her friend.
What's your friend's name?
I'd rather not.
You probably want to, because otherwise I'll be talking to your wife. He has a successful business. He's married. He's got kids. He's got a little bit to lose if he decides he doesn't want to play ball.
The heat's on now. We need to find this girl. And you're one of the last ones we know right now that had communication with her.
I believe this individual will be reaching out to a lot of people.
Tom and his team have effectively scared the John. Now they're going to use him to help find Meagan. Tom's search has led them to understand that Meagan is likely working as a prostitute. And it's a brutal reality for Mark and Ellen.
I could never get straight answers out of her.
What I am finding out about Sudbury, it's a very scary world.
Believing the best way to find her is to dip into the illegal sex trade, Tom and his team scour the local escort ads. It doesn't take long to find a young girl who matches Meagan's description.
People would be shocked to learn how easy it is to order prostitutes through social media. This is what I want. This is where you're going to come to.
Tom calls and tries to arrange a date.
Hello? Hi. Yeah, I'm looking for some company tonight.
He's with Meagan's Aunt Ellen, but has asked Mark to stay home.
He's an emotional father. There's a time and a place to bring a person in, and that was not the time or the place. Room 222.
He asks Ellen to wait with him in the lobby so she can identify Meagan. Each minute they wait feels like an eternity. But the young prostitute finally arrives.
There's a girl right behind them. That could be. Yeah, no, she went the other way. So I can't tell.
Monica, Dawn, and Paula arrived in Miami 24 hours ago. Based on some credible sightings, they believe Dawn's wife, Pam, may be at a shelter.
So it's this first building? Or the...
After a specific tip late the night before, they head straight to the Miami Mission.
We wanted to see if this person here has been here.
The shelter claims they can't release the names of any of the people who use their services to protect their privacy.
Yes.
1 mile southwest, a security guard takes Monica inside Camilla's house. But the administrator explains their policy is the same. They can't reveal if Pam stayed there before or is currently staying there.
This lady told me she could be sitting right here and I wouldn't tell you.
Dawn, Paula, and Monica spend 9 hours talking to as many of Miami's 23 homeless shelters as they can, but get nowhere. Monica has come up against these privacy policies before, but wants to challenge the system. She calls a shelter director.
Well, we have to protect the identity of the people who we service here at this place.
What if they're mentally ill? Would you make any attempt to find their family or find out who they are?
We don't know. Our main mission is just to help the people who come to us.
Her family's trying to locate her. I mean, we have word that she may be in this area. And so you're telling me that they've traveled all the way here from Alabama, and even if she's there, that you wouldn't try to help her get back home?
Yeah, I'm very sorry, but we can't make exceptions to the rule.
I think it's bullshit. They can't at least afford a family that.
Homeless shelters that offer medical care as well as food and lodging fall under U.S. health insurance privacy rules known as HIPAA. For Monica and the family, it means the shelters can't share any information about their patients.
She could possibly be in a facility, maybe even now at this time. And because of the way the HIPAA laws are, we just don't know it.
The protection, it's just not working the right way.
Without help from the shelters, Dawn and Paula's only option is to hand out missing posters of Pam on the street, hoping someone will lead them to her.
But y'all hadn't seen her?
Since I've gotten the cancer, just take one day at a time and get up and hope that we find her. How long have you been in this area?
Months after months. Months after months. I can't remember. All right? God bless you all, man.
All right. God bless you.
Dawn would want us to find her. She has 2 grandchildren that she doesn't even know she has.
I think we'll find her eventually. You just have to stay positive.
I believe that if the effort continues at the level that it needs to maintain at, I think she will be found.
I need you. I love you. And I miss you desperately. Please come on.
Inside the downtown Sudbury hotel, Tom and Ellen spot the young prostitute they made a date with.
Sorry. Did you look at her face?
No, I'm not well enough to know.
From a distance, she looks just like Meagan.
Meagan.
But when Ellen gets a better look at her face, she is instantly deflated.
That was not Meagan.
No?
No.
You okay?
I did and I didn't want it to be her.
No, that's understandable.
It's been a difficult few weeks, but pressure on Wyona, the John, and the heat they created in Sudbury's drug and prostitution scene mean they're edging closer and closer to finding Meagan.
Meagan, call us. Just please call us.
I believe as a result of what we've done, it has increased the odds that Meagan will surface.
All I want to know is that you're safe. I love you very much. So much. I miss you so much. I hope to hear from you soon.